We were part of the second wave of artists that got funded by Futures Venture. And so we received our funding in 2016 and we completed that project in 2018 last year.
So our project was called The Next Term, and it was a creative research project looking at issues within the education system, and with a particular focus on the value of creativity as part of that. Yeah, so I know Keisha, who was a board member at the time and now is the chair, is that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she kind of reached out to us and reached out to other people that she knew, and then we pitched our idea. So there's also a third person that was part of this, which is called Sophie Mahon. I think that's how you say her second name.
No, it's Mahon.
Mahon, is it? This whole time.
It's Irish.
Sophie Mahon. Yeah, we kind of worked together loosely on other projects, and then found out about this, and we're like, we wanted to do a project together for a while, and then we were like, this is the perfect opportunity to come together to do that.
And we wanted to do it around education because, well, you came to us straight away, didn't you, and said, I think we should do it about education, because we'd all had quite a lot of conversations before about things just within our own experience that kind of was frustrating us about the system, and we'd all worked in education but in different kind of parts of the sector through different roles. So it was something that really connected us all, that we were all really, really passionate about and interested in.
So we originally, I think really naively, thought it was going to be a 12-week project. But then as we started talking to more people about it, we were like, we need to do more research before we start. We ended up building artworks that were based on the research that we did, but we wanted to do quite long-term research, so it ended up being nearly a year, maybe about 11 months before we kind of started making. And then we also applied for Arts Council funding as well, so we got a bit extra for that.
Yeah, the Arts Council funding allowed us to do extra outreach workshops and stuff. Initially what we pitched to do and what we thought we wanted to do before we started this research phase was to build a classroom for the 21st century, working with young people and educators. I forget what the third one was now, actually, but we wanted to get 3 different kind of groups in and get them to reimagine what it was and then represent that as a physical space, and it was meant to be just a 12-week project. But yeah, as soon as we started researching, it's just such a massive thing. There's so many elements to it, and there's so many people that were up for talking to us about it, and we just kind of went down the rabbit hole, didn't we? We were meant to do a few weeks of research to underpin the project, and then it ended up being a year later, and then we decided what we were going to do with it.
We'd also spoken with someone else as well, and they'd done something that was quite a similar idea, so then we were like, well, we want to take it in a different direction.
And I think as well we were conscious that because it was our main funding came from Futures Venture, unlike the Arts Council, maybe there's a lot more room for the project to evolve, and they were totally open to us kind of taking it in any direction. We didn't have to stick strictly to what we said we would do at the outset, because they understand that once you're within the creative process, things change as you get more informed about things and you have realised things. So I think we wanted to take that opportunity, that we had that flexibility and there was no fixed deadline, to kind of run with it a bit and turn it into something much bigger than what we were originally planning for it to be.
Yeah, and it was great to have that freedom to be able to do that as well. Whereas, I guess to have an idea and it's always going to evolve. That is part of the process, and to be trusted to do that as well was a really, really incredible experience.
I think because we see ourselves at quite an early point in our kind of career as well. We'd all worked on projects we'd all worked for organisations that delivered events and creative projects and things like that before, but we'd never kind of been at the helm driving it, and problem solving everything. So exactly. That was, it was a really exciting opportunity.
Yeah, and for us to be able to work together as well and have the way we collaborated together was really, really a great opportunity, wasn't it? And I'd never had, I'm a visual artist and I'd always made work on my own. so to work as a group, and we all have like really different skill sets as well. Yeah, I feel like I learnt so much from you and Sophie.
Yeah, we all kind of exchanged skills a lot throughout the process, and we also worked with 28 artists in the end, because we collaborated with other people as well on commissions and workshops and installations that we made for the events. So again, that was an opportunity to again like learn from an even wider kind of pool of people with amazing varied skills. It was all throughout our own kind of networks, really, and then some of those brought in people. The same with the kind of educators that we worked with, the different teachers that we spoke to, and youth workers. Quite a lot of people kind of, once we'd spoken to them, like pointed us in the direction of someone else that we could speak to. But then we also did some research kind of through an online platform, so that we could take it kind of beyond the UK and beyond Manchester, to get other people's feedback as well. I would say we did it quite independently. I think if we'd have wanted to at points, we probably could have asked for more, and they would have given it to us. Like
I think we knew that they were there as support, kind of if we needed it. And
we did go to them a few times, and Alison came to visit the space. And I think she was a really good person. She's a really good person to kind of keep you grounded, because obviously when you're like so involved in a project, I mean, we all like lost the plot a little bit at points, didn't we? Because we were just so like spending all this time in this disused school building
that was freezing as well. It was absolutely freezing.
So it was really good at those points when we did kind of check in with her, because she would be like, you know, make sure you think about this, because she's got so much experience.
She's so calm as well, isn't she? So it was like, okay, we're heading in very level-headed. We're heading in a direction. We don't know if it's the right direction right now, but that's fine.
To answer your question, I think that first phase was about generating conversation, about opening up that conversation to different audiences, and to use creative platforms as a way to do that. I think where we're looking to next is probably focusing down on a more specific aspect of it, maybe working with a smaller group but more intensely, rather than lots of activity with lots of different groups, and actually trying to get that message to policymakers more, which again is like quite a daunting thing, but I think like longer term that's what we're trying to do, having like translated them visually, but it's just having, I mean, we tried to get politicians and stuff to the event, didn't we? We tried to get, and I know Alison tried as well, but we didn't have much success with that. We'd love to have more conversations with the other artists. I think one thing as well that I don't know whether it surprised us a bit, but I think even some groups of young people we were working with who would be stereotyped as disengaged or hard to reach, they were like clambering over themselves to tell us how they felt about education and about their frustrations, and we were worried that they might not want to talk to us, or they might, you know, when we went into youth groups and stuff, but actually young people care a huge amount about it, and they know the issues as well as the teachers do.
And also I think, so we met with this group, I can't remember what the youth group was, the first one with all the boys.
At St George's Centre.
Yeah, so we met with them, and they were like opening up and talking to us and stuff, but then we got a poet to go in and work with them, and I think that worked really, really well, to be like, okay, we kind of like touch base with them, but to send somebody in who they can relate to a lot more and who has the kind of skill set of working with young people, rather than just being like,
we're the best people to do everything.
Yeah, because we're not, you know, like this was a group of predominantly black boys, so our facilitator was a black poet, and I feel like that worked really, really well.
And incredible like experience working with young people. We knew that, didn't we, when we got him on board? And
identifying where someone else would be better for that job. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't be really good at everything. Oh, another thing is about the research phase. I would have loved to have worked with someone who is a researcher to learn those skills, because we'd ask some questions, and then the next time we were like, oh, are they the right questions? So it would have been really good. And I think we did try and do that a little bit, didn't we? Who was Sophie's friend? Who was do you remember? Was it your? I can't remember, but I think that would have been.
Clara.
Maybe.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, but I think that that would have been really beneficial to be able to have worked and alongside a researcher during that process to make it more like streamlined to what we were trying to get at.
Less sporadic.
Yeah.